Yo, what's up? What's up? Jose Vela here with the one, the only Justin Harris. How you doing, brother?
Yo, man, what's going on?
Hey, man.
Can you hear me? Whoa, am I big? Oh.
You're always big.
Hey. Thanks.
Dude, you look like you got a fresh cut.
I did. I'm on a trip right now. Before I left, I went to get a haircut, and I said, make it a little shorter for summer. And now I can't brush it. It's really short. I'm trying to grow it out before I have to see a jury. Speaking of, aren't you in trial?
I did. Judge Wright granted a mistrial.
Oh, okay.
Let me ask the group, when is a mistrial with prejudice appropriate?
A mistrial with prejudice?
Mistrial with prejudice.
I think it's when it's due to knowingly and intentionally bad faith on the part of the prosecutor.
What if
on part of the state?
I mean, what if the state?
I don't know the standard.
I mean, you're right. I mean, I've looked it up already. What if the state just really didn't know better? I can't prove bad faith.
Didn't know better? I mean, I don't know. You're thinking me a fact situation.
State tries to enter into the breath test slip through the breath test operator.
Okay, so I think if they should have known better, one way that they learn their lesson is the judge grants a mistrial with prejudice. Because I carry a book around in my trial bag. It's called the Predicate Evidence Manual. It's put out by the Texas District and County Attorneys Association, like their bar association, the Prosecutors Bar Association. And it has like numbered questions on how to lay down the foundation for any kind of evidence. And it's got a whole specific chapter on DWI cases and admitting the breath test slip. And it tells you, with this person, you ask these questions. With this witness, you ask these questions. With this witness, you ask these questions. Then you offer the thing into evidence. So if that's the mistake that was made, I think that should have been a mistrial with prejudice, because jeopardy was attached. That's the whole issue with prejudice or without prejudice, is that jeopardy attaches when the jury is sworn in. And
yeah, so, but shouldn't there be some sort of a malice or some sort of intentional thing?
Well, but there's a fine line between, when it comes to prosecuting another like human being, there's a fine line between like malicious intent and reckless disregard or reckless ignorance of the law, right? Like ignorance of the law isn't a defense.
I think right, but I think it's the intentional stuff that gets the prejudice stuff. What says you?
Sure, I mean that's what the law says. But if you're asking me my opinion, I think that if that's the kind of issue that you're dealing with, I think that when you have prosecutors who are pushed through an office, and I'm not saying that's the Harris County District Attorney's Office or the prosecutors you were up against in court number 7, but if you have prosecutors who are pushed through an office and advanced and promoted, and they're trying cases when they don't have training, like when there's literally, there's not a lot of things in life. Assembling IKEA furniture and admitting like forensic evidence into trial, there are manuals that tell you exactly how to do it. And so when you fail to do it in such a gross way that you like prejudice a jury before you even lay the foundation for evidence, I don't know. I mean, do you have to show malice? I mean,
yeah, I think the standard is you have
the
to show
law says you do. I don't think you have. I don't think you should.
I think the law says you have to show malice.
Well, yeah, the law does say that. I'm not sure I agree with that. I think that there should be a lower standard for that kind of thing, because we're wasting a lot of people's time. You know, the DA likes to go out and talk about victims and things like that. In the DWI case, sometimes there's victims, sometimes there's not. And they need their day in court. Defendants need their day in court. Jurors don't need to have their time wasted. So, you know, one way a prosecutor or anybody learns is by making mistakes. And sure, I guess their mistake is highlighted by a mistrial without prejudice. But a mistrial with prejudice really will drive home the mistake was made.
Well, speaking of not wasting anything, you look good, man.
Thanks.
I mean, look at you, man. You're tight amongst the size.
I just got a haircut. Been on vacation for a week. I haven't shaved. I've only had only been showering since the last day. Otherwise, I've been out camping. You look good too, though. You all had summer vacation, right?
Yeah, we went to Conroe, did the fishing, did that kind of stuff. It was good. It was really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hot though. I had to get out of. I love Texas, but it was so hot. We had to get out of there.
Where'd you
It was
go?
like down in the Colorado.
Oh,
down
nice.
in the 40s a couple nights. Yeah.
40s?
Yeah, the upper 40s. Camping out. Had a bear come into the campsite. Had to shoo him off. Tried to. I don't want to say scare it off because
Like a black
we know
bear?
where the fear was. Yeah, a black bear.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
You have shooed off a black bear.
I was in my underwear and a flashlight.
No. I'm not talking about yesterday.
Oh, that was a good one. You're not talking about right now, right? When the sun goes down behind that mountain, I might need a flashlight with some light in the room. But I'm wearing more than my underwear.
How's the herb out there? Herb and mushrooms legal?
I don't know about. I haven't seen anything about mushrooms, but there's all these like. You can tell when there's. It's kind of funny. You can tell when there's a place to buy marijuana because there's a medical cross, but it's green. So instead of like a red medical cross, you see a green medical cross, and it says something about dispensary or something. But yeah, there is that around. The interesting thing is I haven't really like seen it out or smelled it when we've been walking around. So it's legal and there's places to buy it, but I haven't seen anybody like using it, walking around or anything. So kind of interesting.
It's in Colorado?
Yeah.
So, if one were to buy any herb in Colorado, do you have to, is it like a quid pro quo? So I had some individuals go out to Washington, D.C. A month or two ago, and you had to like buy something different. Like you can't like buy the weed, but you can buy the NFT, for example. You can buy the art, or you could buy something else, and then as a quid pro quo, then you get your herb. In Colorado, is the same thing?
Not that I've seen. I actually went into one of these to ask because it's what we deal with, and it's such a weird thing that you can just walk in and buy what I have clients getting arrested for in Montgomery County and other places in Texas. But yeah, you walk in and it's just like what I remember in Amsterdam 20 years ago. There's just marijuana out and like in cases, and people walk up and I ask for your ID and then say, let me know if you have any questions or what you want. And then I stopped and asked the guy and talked to him about it. And he's like, yeah, you just tell me what you want. I go get it. And then he rings it up. And I checked. They take like cash and credit card, all the major credit cards. I wanted to ask questions about like federal law with, interchanges and stuff, but I didn't think the guy selling weed at a place would know the answers to that. But it's interesting, and they've figured it all out apparently. And we haven't driven through places, there's all these like stores along the way, and there'll be signs that say like no smoking, right? But it's just a normal no smoking sign. And then some of the places say no pets, because lots of people are walking around with their dogs out here. But I haven't seen anywhere that says like, you can smoke marijuana here or you can't smoke marijuana here. So I don't know if it's a kind of thing that you can do like out in public, because there are like in the town where they have like barricades off where you can drink. People can drink and walk across the street and keep shopping and things like that. But I don't see anything about where you can smoke. So I don't know. It's interesting. I also haven't seen like anybody smoking cigarettes or e-cigarettes or anything. It's like devoid of, I don't know, everybody in Colorado is going to be like really healthy.
Sean
I don't know.
Dervishi says the bud tender.
The bud tender.
Right.
That's who sells it?
I don't know. That's what Sean says.
Oh, okay. Like a bartender, but a bud tender.
I don't know. I'm
Makes
asking.
sense.
Hey, Sean, what are you talking about, Sean? Sean says the bud tender.
Probably the person who tends to your bud.
I take offense to that, Justin.
Oh,
To my
didn't be offensive.
to my butt.
Oh, not your butt.
Oh. So, so you get there and then you can just buy weed anywhere you want.
Anywhere with the green plus sign. They're like on the highways. Some of the small towns.
Is it
Yeah.
weird? Is it super weird?
Well, like I said, I mean, I haven't noticed any around. I haven't seen, anybody smoking it. I haven't even smelled it anywhere we've been. But we were getting coffee somewhere and like 2 stores down, there was one of those. So I popped in there to see what it was like and just walk in like any other store. And when you walk in, they ask for your ID and they just check your age. And I think it's 21 to buy that here. But it's kind of surreal, and I don't know. It's kind of weird to think that you could just buy that and walk out with it, where in Texas, you have to get arrested for even buying it or selling it or having it.
Sean Dervishi says.
I currently represent people who do or have been.
Sean Dervishi says they'll walk you through everything. What type of high do you want?
Oh, yeah.
Did you feel weird when they asked you that?
They didn't ask that. They were like, let us know if you have any questions, and then there's all kinds of signs about what everything is and percentages of THC and all that throughout.
Was that super weird to you?
No.
That's super weird to me.
It was weird that, like, you could just walk outside if you bought that and a cop can't come up. It almost felt like, when I walked outside, even though I didn't have anything on me, it's like walking outside, like, people are going to be looking at me differently. Is there like a police officer going to come up and be like, hey, did you buy something in there? Can I search you? It's just, I don't know. It's just a weird thing. You live under prohibition of something so long, when it's not, you're almost suspicious of it.
Can you buy rolled up joints?
Probably, like pre-rolls. Yeah, probably. Remember they had that in Amsterdam.
Well, we're talking about Denver.
Yeah, I would assume so.
So we have a question from the Harris County Criminal Association. Have you seen the Department of Agriculture and regulations and licensing requirements and batch testing for growing hemp in Texas?
The answer is no. I have not seen that.
Yeah, neither have I. That's a tough question. No, I mean, I know Texas is lame.
One thing that I did see is that there was some really small towns that were just completely agricultural. You could tell, like some of these little valleys that you come to, and there's like 2 gas stations, and you could tell that it was not a real well-off area, but they had really nice new schools, and they had on the outskirts of town, you could kind of tell when the towns didn't really want the marijuana places in them. They're on the outskirts, and they have signs sometimes like last chance for however many miles, which was begging a lot of other questions about how much people are smoking, but again, not seeing it. But I don't know how much tax revenue it's generating. That's one big thing I've heard, that the people who are in favor of it, legalization, is taxing it and the taxes that it'll generate. But we were kind of talking in the car about whether or not that some of those schools are being paid for with some of that. And if that's a plus to it, I mean, these were like really nice looking brand new schools. And it wasn't just one here or there. We kept noticing it in these small towns. So I don't know if Colorado had some big school budget thing that would have happened regardless of that. If any of the money from marijuana revenue is significant and if it goes to school, I don't know. But that was one thing that I did notice, that with more time and research, I could figure out where that money maybe goes.
Well, Sean Darvishi said mushrooms are legal in the city of Denver. So the question is that were you tripping on mushrooms and seeing these schools?
No, I haven't been to Denver yet. We go to Denver tomorrow morning.
Oh, nice. Nice. So the question is are you going to trip? Because apparently mushrooms in Denver are legal.
I wasn't planning on it. We're having breakfast with family and then driving straight to Houston.
Yeah, I know, but have you heard of micro tripping?
Micro tripping? Micro dosing, yeah.
Yeah, a little micro dose.
I'll check it out. I'll see what I can do. But I have to drive across 2 or 3 states, so I don't think I'll be micro dosing before I drive.
I probably wouldn't either. It's probably dangerous. However...
Or really awesome. I don't know.
Yeah, but you're with the kids and stuff. You don't want to microdose any kids.
No, I don't have kids with me, but you're exactly right.
Have you ever microdosed?
Am I a guest on the show or like helping out with the co-hosting?
No, I'm just asking. Have you ever microdosed? I'm just talking about microdosing.
You just explained microdosing to me earlier, so it's a new concept.
Well, you know, the idea of microdosing is that, I mean, you take a microdose and, I mean, it's just like caffeine, right? It's just like something that you take. It's like caffeine, and then you're up.
It's like I'm buzzed. I'm not drunk.
Well, and, you know, you kind of trip a little bit, but not really.
I'm like slight tripping, not full tripping.
No, nobody's tripping anything on any sort of microdose.
Oh, a micro trip.
It's a micro trip. You just kind of up.
Micro trip.
You don't get
I don't
that.
know, JV.
You don't get those.
You got to come to Colorado, man.
I've actually never been to Colorado.
You should.
I don't know, man. It sounds like a lot of people just all like tripped out on mushrooms and stuff, and high.
All I'm telling you is I haven't seen anybody high the whole time I've been here.
That's why I think that everybody's just like microdosing.
Maybe so.
Have you heard about microdosing?
Yeah, I've heard about it. Yeah.
So let me ask you this: are you driving back or flying back?
Driving.
Hey, look, we have something. Nathaniel Munier says that always works for my meth using clients. Okay, Nathaniel, that didn't help.
Meth?
Yeah, that didn't help the conversation. No, I'm not advocating or advocating for microtripping. I'm just saying. I mean, it's a big deal.
Like a microdose of meth, like a little mini bump.
No,
meth,
first of all, nobody's microdosing any meth. Nathaniel Munier, nobody's microdosing any meth. Unless you're prescribed to it by a doctor and taking Adderall.
Right.
Am I wrong?
No, I'm not.
Let's talk about Adderall.
Okay.
So, felony or not felony?
Depends on the weight.
That's fair. Actually, I think, so let's talk about Adderall. A couple years ago, it was any amount of Adderall was a felony. I think now it's a misdemeanor. Like,
I think
small amount.
Yeah, I think like under 28 grams. I think it's like alprazolam. It's the same penalty group.
Xanax.
Yeah, Xanax. If I remember correctly, but I don't have my Controlled Substances Act in front of me. So
no, well, I think
I didn't study for this pop
less
quiz.
than a gram and alprazolam less than a gram, I think, turned into a Class A.
Maybe so.
some of the big issue with that is that you're criminalizing like, I don't know, half of the college constituents.
Also, they make it a misdemeanor, right?
Yeah.
Less than a gram of cocaine, and here's a felony.
Yeah.
But if it's a study drug that a bunch of white college kids use, it's a misdemeanor.
Well, it's because they're white, right?
You said that, not me.
Oh,
I just
snap!
described them.
Oh, fresh snap. I mean, this is kind of truth, no?
Yeah.
Nathaniel Mueller says it's a felony. Yes, Nathaniel.
Adderall's
Methamphetamine.
felony?
Meth is a felony.
Yeah, meth's a felony.
But I'm not kidding, man. I think Adderall and Xanax at the very least is a misdemeanor, like one Xanax. One Adderall used to be a felony, then became a misdemeanor, and one Adderall, according to Nathaniel, is a felony. I don't think that's right, dude.
I'm just, I don't want to keep displaying my ignorance on the spot on TV, so I'll just stop talking.
Is Adderall and methamphetamine different?
Chemically, yeah. One's methamphetamine, one is amphetamine.
That's right. There's actually one. You're exactly right, Justin. You're exactly right.
And legally, if you're right, then yes, they're different. If Nathaniel's right, then no, they're not different legally.
No, I think for a second, like one Adderall ended up being a misdemeanor. If someone could say something on the live wire or on the show, please let us know.
Yeah, call in. Call in. There's a phone
because
number.
that's a big deal.
Read it for the people who are just listening.
Well, and the reality is, like, you can literally just go to any doctor you want, or even online nowadays, and say that I need an Adderall or I need this or that, and you can get your prescription. Like, there's no reason for anybody on this planet to have any sort of Adderall or to have any sort of Vyvanse or Adderall without a prescription. Like, that's ridiculous. Nathaniel.
They need it, yeah.
Nathaniel Meunier, please text or call in, please, because you're chatting on the live wire. Let us know, please.
Yeah, read the phone number for the folks who are just listening, JV.
713-807-1794. 713-807-1794. It's a good time,
Mm-hmm. So what else has been going on around the courthouse? Anything else going on in the district clerk? Any more pep rallies you've heard about?
No pep rallies, but Judge Jordan arrested and taken to jail. I don't know if
complete malarkey.
I don't know if it was a walkthrough or not.
Well, he got charged with official oppression for holding a local reporter in contempt for interrupting court proceedings.
Dolcefino.
Yeah, Wayne Dolcefino.
So Dolcefino goes in, questions judge, has it like secret camera. Judge holds him in contempt.
Right.
I don't know, like a year later, it comes down and says, we're going to hold Judge Jordan in the wrong without pay. And he's going to have to chill out until this thing is resolved. So, Madam Ogg says, I'm out, lets the Fort Bend District Attorney's Office handle it. And the Fort Bend District Attorney's Office says, I'm sorry, we can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Judge Jordan of the Harris County Harris County Criminal Court of Law number 16, beyond a reasonable doubt that he committed official oppression. And they dismiss his case. However, Dolcefino got Judge Jordan arrested, processed, had to pay God knows how much money. I think he paid to former Judge Mark Carter, and then got his case dismissed.
I hadn't heard that it was dismissed by Brian Middleton.
I thought it was dismissed already, man.
I'm not. Yeah, I've been out of town. I didn't have internet service or cell phone service until yesterday for a couple of days. But I'm glad it's starting to kind of get behind Judge Jordan. If that's the case, I thought the whole thing was just reeked of political motivation, and I don't know what's going on in the DA's office. I don't know if Democrats in Harris County are paying attention to the district attorney who waves the Democratic banner, but I think they should start paying better attention if they're not. There's a lot of what seems like political vendettas coming out of that office. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Anybody from Kim Ogg's office, as far as I'm concerned, is welcome to come on the show and set the record straight. But by keeping prosecutors on payroll and encouraging them to run against sitting judges who your office is engaged in litigation in front of, and now going after judges when you don't have someone who can unseat them in politics, going after them through the legal system. I don't know. Because that ended up in a grand jury. Grand jury indicted in return a misdemeanor, and they declined charges of more serious charges like tampering with the government record, and I don't know what the other thing was, but.
Well, they declined the charges of the tampering of the government record upon Dolcefino, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was against Jordan. If you look it up on the clerk's website, there's like 3 charges, and I think 2 were no billed, and 1 was returned as a misdemeanor. I don't know. I've never presented a case to a grand jury. I've never been a prosecutor, so I don't know exactly what creates those records in the clerk's website. But presumably an assistant district attorney signed off on a complaint, filed it with the grand jury to be heard, and the grand jury said no, not on a probable cause. But that still means that someone, sounds like in Kim Ogg's office, was trying to go forward with that.
I think it was a political kind of deal, and quite frankly, I think it's somewhat silly that the Fort Bend. So, do you know anything about, or if you do, please tell us about Fort Bend taking the charge of the regarding the indictment of Judge Jordan?
Yeah, anybody who's got more information than us, please let us know.
Well, supposedly Kim Ogg recused her office, and then the Fort Bend district attorney took the lead, and then just dismissed it because they couldn't prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
So who took it to the grand jury? I mean, can you pull up the paperwork from the grand jury where you are? I'm using all the bandwidth I can to do Zoom. I don't have another device, but I don't know if it's signed by a Harris County assistant district attorney, but somebody took it to the grand jury, and I don't understand why Brian Middleton would take the case to the grand jury and the grand jury returns a misdemeanor if he thinks he can. I don't know. It just.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't know why Brian. I don't know why the Fort Bend district attorney would go seek the indictment, get the indictment, and then just nolly the case.
Well, get an indictment on a lesser included.
Right.
Right. It would be like it'd be one thing if it was kind of like when Devin Anderson took the Planned Parenthood case to the grand jury, and instead of like returning an indictment against the Planned Parenthood people, they returned an indictment against the Project Veritas hacks, and it backfired politically. I could understand if Brian Middleton's like, oh, I took, case A, B, and C to the grand jury, and they returned an indictment on X, Y, and Z. I can't prove X, Y, and Z. I thought I could prove A, but I don't know. I don't know who took the case, and they returned an indictment on a misdemeanor, a lower level offense, from what I understand. So, which the grand jury can do. They have that authority to do that. But if a prosecutor takes a case in thinking they can prove a felony and they get an indictment on a misdemeanor, the law says you can prove the misdemeanor if you can prove the felony. So they thought they could prove the felony. I don't know why they just turn around and dismiss the misdemeanor. The whole thing is just, I don't know. Somebody who knows more can come set the record straight. But from an outsider with a little bit of knowledge of the parties involved, it seems like an attempted political hit job.
Yeah, and so, but he hired, from what I understand, and if there's anybody that can tell me different, former judge, Mark Carter, took the case.
That's what I heard. Representing
And
Judge Jordan.
I want to say, I mean, Mark Carter comes in and they say, look, you know what, we'll back down.
Maybe so.
I go so far to say if someone other than Mark Carter or that kind of group takes a case, because they're powerhouse. Powerhouse. This case doesn't go away.
Yeah, maybe not.
Did Mark Carter and that group, Schaefer and Mays, take the case pro bono?
I hope not. I mean, lawyers deserve to get paid for their time.
Yeah, no, but I mean, the thing is, so he had to do process in and out because he had to go in and out. Which is incredible to me. Like, you didn't let him do a walkthrough?
Judge Jordan?
Yeah, they didn't let him do a walkthrough.
They didn't?
No, the dude got processed in and out.
Well, I mean, that might have been Judge Jordan is a man of integrity and character. And from all my experiences with him, he's been on the show multiple times. If you're in his court, he starts every court day. He's one of the only judges I know of in Harris County. He starts every court day with the Pledge of Allegiance and the Pledge of the Texas flag. He's a man of character and integrity, and he shows it from everything that I've seen. I wouldn't be surprised if he said, I don't want special treatment or different treatment just because I'm a judge. If you think that I did something wrong, treat me like everybody else. Another thing that I didn't see in the news articles that I read about this about a week ago when it happened is that nobody mentioned that he's, served his country his entire adult life and is a colonel now in the United States Army JAG. I know he was a major at one point, but I think he's been promoted or increased in rank to colonel. But, the man has nothing but a history of service to his community and his country. And I'm not saying that should give people passes on illegal behavior, but to say that he used his office to oppress Wayne Dolcefino by holding him in contempt in open court, I think is a stretch for even a grand jury to return probable cause on.
Well, they did.
Yeah.
And then the Fort Bend district attorney said, nope. Fair or not fair?
I don't know more. It's hard to judge the situation without more of the facts about what led to it all. But it being dismissed, I agree with. I'll say that.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Do you think, so Dolcefino came out in the media like, oh, well, the people, indicted Judge Jordan and now they're not getting their, justice.
Sounds like Wayne Dolcefino. Something he'd say.
Well, I'm not saying it's something he should say or not say. I mean, let's not forget, he had a video. There's allegations he had something in his coat, hidden cameras, and he was asking Judge Jordan about things that were disrupting his court, these kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I read about him having some kind of a camera recording device on. I also couldn't tell if this is something that Dolcefino did in person in court, because this I think was, I don't know how long ago this was, but or if this is something that was done by Zoom. So I don't know where the recording was made, but one thing that I read when I read the article, or one of the articles about it, that brought to mind was a question that brought to mind was whether or not he was recording in a courtroom, because that would have been foolish to reveal, because I'm pretty sure that's against the law, to record in a courtroom without the judge's express permission.
That was a big deal. I heard the district attorneys aren't prosecuting anything like that in that regard. You cannot record in a public courtroom kind of style.
And the DAs said that they're not going to prosecute people who violate that law.
Right.
What did you say?
Well, not Dolcefino.
Oh, okay.
At the very least.
Well, I guess some people get to not follow the rules and get the benefit of not being prosecuted.
How was, you just got a not guilty recently, man. How was that?
We talked about that like 2-3 weeks ago. I don't think I've had another one since.
Katie Farrell's talking on the live wire.
What's up, Kate?
Kate, where you at? She says, yo, guys, I believe he was in the court and secretly recording. Yeah, I mean, Dolcefino was in the court secretly recording, trying to talk about something about Judge Jordan having some sort of secret agenda or some sort of agendas that weren't in line with what the public knew about.
Yeah, I don't know what he was attempting to do, but it seems like it, you know, if the story became Judge Jordan holding him in contempt for disrupting court proceedings, it sounds like whatever story that Mr. Dolcefino thinks he was going after was a big bunch of nothing. Otherwise, the story would have been that and not, he made himself the story.
Let me ask you this, though. He locked up Dolcefino. Dolcefino made Jordan do a walkthrough. Is that like satisfactory and what?
Oh, I mean, if the criminal justice system gets used for revenge, then I guess tit for tat, those two men are equal. If they both got processed by the Harris County Sheriff's Office into the Harris County Jail. But, you know, I hope that's not what our criminal justice system is coming to.
It did, and it has.
Well, shame on Mr. Dolcefino who purports to like seek justice on behalf of the people, because, you know, that's not what's going on there.
His ass got locked up, and then he locked up Judge Jordan.
Yeah, but, you know, and whatever. If that's how the system's going to get used, then the system worked the way it was intended to be.
Sure, no.
But I don't think the system should be used for vendettas like that.
No.
That's what this seemed like.
You
know, seemed like somebody's big ego got bruised, and he just kept going and going and going and going until the DA finally took the case to the grand jury. The grand jury returned a low-level thing. The DA kicked it off to another district attorney's office after recusing her own office. They looked at it and said, "This is garbage," and dismissed it. And all it was just the result of a feud. That's an outsider looking at with very little information, looking on the inside. If anybody who has more information wants to set the record straight, or not even record straight, but set a record, please call in, message JV, or come on the show.
Kate Farrell says, I thought he was on military leave service. I did too, but the news said is that he came in and turned himself in and had like do like a walkthrough. Like, I don't know. Did he have to actually do that?
I have no clue. I don't believe anything I read about criminal cases in the media after some of the media cases I've handled, and I've seen them just get things completely wrong. Like I've been waiting for an investigator or detective who's arrested my client to bring him to magistrate's court so we can get bond set. Everybody's waiting for them to arrive, and I'm just watching the news on my phone, and the news person is saying, you know, they conclude their little segment with, and now that defendant is out on bond. And I'm like, where are you getting your information? My client's still on their way to the courtroom. There's no bond set. Like, so I don't believe anything I read or hear in the media report about criminal cases.
On the
live, so wrong.
On the live wire, it says that he came back because of this and did a walkthrough. So there was like some sort of warrant issued, and then he did a walkthrough.
Yeah, I mean, there are far.
I can't
Whatever
even
we think about the
imagine. I
fairness of
cannot
it and the tit
imagine
for tat,
Judge.
there's a lot bigger ramifications for Judge Jordan than there would be for pretty much any other judge right now going through the same thing. Because Judge Jordan also has to then he has to talk to the Judicial Ethics Commission, I'm sure, or just kind of clear some paperwork with them when a sitting judge gets charged with something.
Supposedly,
he also has to go to the military and explain what happened, even though if it's like a paperwork charge, paperwork dismissal, it's still something else that he has to go through that goes in some kind of a record form. And it's, I think that's what maybe Dolcefino was after, is he wanted a tit for tat on the bruised ego spectrum.
Well,
but that's what he's going for. He got it.
I'll tell you this. Yeah, he certainly bruised that ego. That's so terrible. So we have somebody on the live wire saying he had to come back. He did a walkthrough. God, I can't even imagine. Can you imagine a walkthrough for a sitting judge?
No, but I can imagine Judge Jordan going through that. And I think he was about as good a spirits as you could have been, because he typically is. He takes everything in tow. So I'm not imagining it being a pleasant experience, but Judge Jordan's one, I think, take an unpleasant experience and make it somewhat tolerable.
And then like 2 days later, his case is dismissed.
Let me just say this. If Wayne Dolcefino got processed into the Harris County Jail, I imagine there'd be a lot more like drama.
Well, he did. Judge Jordan put his ass in the jail, I thought.
Yeah, I don't know how it worked, because he got like a time served, and then I think that he appealed the contempt conviction.
Yeah, but I think he had to sit his ass down. I think he had to sit.
Got reversed and he got dismissed.
Yeah, but I think he had to sit his ass. I think he had to sit down for a couple days.
Well, I don't think he sat in jail. I think maybe he got processed in and processed out, and he got a time served. I don't think he spent 3 days in the jail.
Yeah, but that means the process in and process out. They still strip search you.
But all I'm trying to say is, I think that if both men, Judge Jordan and Wayne Dolcefino, got processed into and then out of the Harris County Jail, I think that Judge Jordan probably caused less problems. It was less of a dramatic scene than for Wayne Dolcefino. I can imagine a certain amount of drama and, complaints around that process. Whereas Judge Jordan, I think, knows that the process and the people he's dealing with are just doing their job, and he's not looking for special treatment.
Yeah,
that's my suspicion.
That's super embarrassing.
Of course it is.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing AF.
Sure.
Dolcefino said, "Oh well, the people, they took it to the grand jury, and the people said do it, and then the district judge said no."
Well, that's how our system works.
Politics.
And he's got a microphone and TV camera in front of him. He has an audience where he can talk about how he feels like he was wronged, and people can listen or turn it off. Frankly, I've not watched any of it.
Kate Farrell says, "What are they doing with Judge Bynum? You seen him around?"
I think, again, I've been gone for about a week, but I think that Judge experienced like a personal loss recently. But I
private loss?
I'm not sure what's out there and what's not, but I don't know exactly. But I have heard that I think Judge Bynum will be back on the bench on this coming week.
Because of
I got a pref set case in there on Tuesday, so someone will be there, I think.
Well, you will.
I'll be there. My client will be there.
Are you ready for trial?
Yep. Looking at you, John Donovan.
Hey, young John Don?
Mm-hmm.
Where's young John Don at, man? Where you at, John? What is he? He's in 8 now?
Yeah, he's been emailing about this trial. So
has he? Did he issue subpoenas?
Making me respond to emails on my vacation.
Did he? Has he subpoenaed anybody?
Man, I don't know. I can barely get a signal now to do this. But to download district clerk documents and load those pages takes forever. So I'll look when I get back on Saturday.
Kate Farrell
We're ready,
said,
though. We're all set. I prepped with my client before we left.
Kate Farrell says, I meant with Ogg's complaint. Kate, you got to give us more than that.
713-807-1794.
713-807-1794.
Phone ringing?
No.
Nope, nothing. Nothing.
It'd be great if people could hear from anybody other than us. Even like a minute.
Oh,
Kate.
no. No, man, we just put it out there, man. We just put it out there. More and more and more.
Yeah.
We just put it out there. No.
Yeah.
Trying.
So did you cover the ALR for me yesterday?
Yeah, we won that.
I appreciate you, man.
We win all of it, dude.
You got to send me an invoice,
I will.
please. So how's the Vela law firm going?
Oh, man,
Triple
we're
V.
just killing it, man. Just killing it, dude. Just killing it,
Triple
man.
V.
Say?
The Triple V.
Well,
The
right.
Vela brothers.
Right. All day, every day. People
Oh, yeah.
often ask, how are you everywhere? And it's because I got brothers. I got brothers everywhere.
Still think there's two of you.
Well,
I'm not sure if Kim knows or not, but I think there's two of you.
sometimes there's three.
It's like The Prestige.
I love that movie.
It's good.
You
Didn't
know,
see that coming.
You know, you don't have to kill your replica all the time.
No.
No. No, you don't got to do that.
No. I wouldn't mind one of those machines, though.
Which
A
one?
little vacation. Or replicating Nikolai Tesla.
Yeah. It's a good movie. It's actually a love story.
Yeah. I like the magic.
Katie Farrell,
So-
where you at? Jen Gott, where you at? They're talking on the live wire.
So what else have I missed around the courthouse since I've been gone a week?
Let's talk about the courthouse. Man, trials are just going, dude.
How long did you get for voir dire in Judge Wright's
Right,
court?
30 minutes.
30 minutes? Does he hold you to it? Like when you hit 30, does he like, all
Yep.
right, take your seat, Mr. Vela, you're done?
Yep.
Or does he let you like,
No.
Judge, I got 2 more points.
No.
I got 2 more points, Judge.
My younger brother did it.
Oh, yeah?
Jacob, yeah.
Awesome.
Man, he killed it. He just absolutely
Sure.
killed it.
Good.
So we're set for trial today. We got a mistrial. We'll go forward again in August.
He reset you to August?
Yep.
Your client on bond?
Yep.
You appointed?
No.
Hired on that one?
Although
They
I'm
got the
thinking about
whole-
like doing like saying, hey, look, I need to be appointed on this because we kind of need the transcript. We don't kind of. I need the transcript now.
Oh. Yeah. You can file, I think, an affidavit of indigency to try to get a copy of the transcript. if that's
Yeah, I
necessary.
think I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. Just don't have your client swear to like, now I don't have any more money because I paid JV all of mine.
Right.
That's not what it needs to say.
Oh no, she's gonna say that. She has no more money
Okay.
left.
I know.
What am I gonna try this again? I mean, the answer is
That's
yes,
the court.
because I'm not that kind of guy.
Right.
And we're not that kind of lawyers. We're gonna try this thing again.
But lawyers should get paid for their time. That's all we have. That's all we're selling is our time.
Yeah, I know, but
So yeah, you should get paid for it. One way or the other. The prosecutor's gonna get paid.
everybody's getting paid.
Judge's gonna get paid. Court reporter's gonna get paid. Bailiff's going to get paid overtime. My last trial, every day we went past 5, and there would be like 4 or 5 deputies, not including the 1 or 2 assigned to the courtroom, who had to like hang around the courtroom or the hallway because we were in trial. And they told me that that's what they do is when the courthouse closes, there's still cases in trial. They have to go like provide security on the floors for the trials. I was like, really? These are not violent crimes or people, or who are you protecting from what? They were all there getting paid to keep us secure.
Have you seen getting paid more fair pre-Mac or from the Mac?
I think the way that the MAC has set up the pay structure allows for attorneys who work their cases to get paid more fairly.
Yeah, I agree.
I still think the hourly rate is low.
What's the hourly rate? Isn't it like $100 an hour?
Yeah, which sounds like a lot, but you gotta understand that's not like what we're taking home. We have to pay like our health insurance out of that. We have to pay our overhead. Because on one hand, the MAC requires us to have an office, a physical office with an address that's not our residence where we can meet with clients. But on the other hand, we can't include our rent, and nor should we in our fee. But $100 an hour does not mean I'm taking $100 an hour home. We also can't include our time that our support staff works on cases. Everybody else's support staff gets paid, including the people who are prosecuting or administrating over the indigent cases that I'm appointed on. But my staff can't get paid for any phone calls that they make, any emails that they send, any subpoenas that they issue, the review of the discovery as we come in to make sure everything, all the discs play right, contacting the agency and saying, hey, you sent us a blank disc by accident. All that stuff that they do on behalf of my clients, none of that can be charged to the county. And I'm paying out of pocket. So yeah, there is a way to get paid more post-MAC than pre-MAC, but I still think there's a lot of work to be done. And I think that there's good people in place to do that work. I know that we're working on it.
Are you giving back the county any money?
Giving back the county any money? What do you mean?
Not billing for this or not billing for that.
Oh yeah. There's plenty of times when I'm in the car and a client calls me and I talk to him for 20, 30 minutes and then I get to wherever I'm going and it just completely loses my thought process to document that phone call. And I know without a doubt that happens because I see it after I submit my vouchers. I'll go back through my messages and I'll see, where a client and I had a conversation in my call log, my phone log, and I didn't put it in my voucher. So yeah, I'm giving back to the county on every single case, and I always will because there's just not really a feasible way when you work the way I do, which is for my clients as much as I possibly can. There's not really any way to catch every single minute that you do. So
have you had any vouchers rejected?
I actually had 2 rejected this week.
Me too. I had 2 rejected today.
What was the reason?
Too late.
Yeah, mine too. And I was like, oh, y'all are gonna pay me for this. And we were told to just resubmit it and provide an explanation for why it was late. And we were told that, the trial schedule that I've had and is sufficient reason. But yeah, I was not pleased with that little wrinkle. And these weren't like years late or months late even. I think it was like a little over 2 months late. But
so for everyone watching, July 8th is the time you got to get your vouchers in.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's the day. Yep.
Mm-hmm. For the next pay. There's one pay period in July.
We only get paid in July. So if you want to get paid in July, all the money needs to be in by tomorrow and signed off and sent. So if you're doing it tonight, it's probably not going to happen.
Yeah, hopefully the MAC can approve them and send them off to the treasurer or the comptroller, whoever does it next.
Well, they're not. I mean, if tomorrow is deadline, you only get paid in July one time. So you better bill like next weekend and the next weekend, because you're not getting paid in July again. You're going to get paid for July for the stuff that you have through July 8th, which is tomorrow, which means that it has to be submitted, signed, and sent, which is not going to happen if you're doing it today.
Right.
I mean, granted, you'll go ahead and bill next week and get a fat paycheck in August.
Yeah.
But just know you're not going to get paid for July again. You
Hope the bank account's got enough in it to get you through July.
Yeah, you got one pay period in July, and the pay period ends tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
Tell us something about HCLA, Justin.
Well, we were the victim of credit card fraud like 2 weeks ago. Somebody got our debit card number and used it in Florida and Virginia. I don't know how, but otherwise, HCLA is a great group of individuals who defend people accused of crimes primarily in Harris County. If you're not a member, you should be.
Join HCLA. For
Join
Justin
HCLA.
Harris, Jay Vela, and everybody in Houston, join the Harris County Criminal Lords Association. Kick some butt, yeah?
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah. That's all we got.
Yep.
I'll see you next
It was
week.
a quick hour, man. See ya. Take care.